What?
So I was going to open the show completely differently, but you just gave me an idea, and this is
Oh,
opening the show on the fly.
sure.
Okay, so
Oh
what we
no,
just
ad-libbing, not that.
yeah. So what we just talked about as we were about to connect.
Uh-huh.
So I'm planning a trip at the end of January into early February, and actually booked a hotel
Mm-hmm.
for that said trip, and it's going down to actually the outdoor game in Tampa. At Raymond James. So I booked a hotel. What I did was I looked online, I booked it, I looked where it was, I got directions as
Mm-hmm.
to how
Yeah, see,
far.
but the thing is
Wait,
that
wait.
uh-huh.
I got to continue to set this up.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out where it was, and I thought, okay, it's about, this minutes away from so and so, this amount of miles away from here.
Mm-hmm.
You, on the other hand,
Mm-hmm.
you're in a location today, you're in a hotel, to which you just told me you had no idea where it was, but it
Mm-mm.
just so happened that it's right across from where you're supposed to be. How do you book a hotel and not know exactly
Well, I
where it
mean,
is?
I had the, it is not, this is not a large city where I am. It's
That's
about
fine. But you still had
hour
no
and,
idea where the hotel was.
well, but I had a general idea because it was a new hotel, and this I also didn't know.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a city that's about an hour and 45 minutes northwest of Atlanta. And because of TV purposes and commitments, I had to be here on Thursday. And so Friday, I was like, I'm not driving 2 hours home when we get off the air at 11 o'clock. And so I didn't want to get home at 1, still be up for 3 or 4 hours because you're wired after a game and then have to come back and you do the morning show and you're just groggy and cranky, more than normal. So I booked the hotel, and because it's a fairly concentrated downtown area here, and so I was like, okay, so if I book a hotel in the downtown area, I'll be close, 5 minutes either way, and I'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
And so I booked this hotel thinking, okay, Riverwalk, I should be close.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it is a new hotel. Riverwalk is accurate, and it is literally across the street from the stadium that I was doing sideline and anchoring from the night before. So,
Amazing.
100, I get the win, and so yay, good for me. And so that's why I'm sitting in a hotel this time around.
I'm just playing with you. By the way, as we get going now,
No.
I'll hide my cord behind my back. There we go.
Well, and me, because it's such a tight shot, I can still have my cord in front of me, and it doesn't really matter. So there you go.
No, so you're good. We're going to talk
Uh-huh.
about FIFA. We're going to talk about Philip Rivers. We're going to talk about Lindsey Vonn.
Sure.
Let's begin, though. Again, this is Friday. We're doing this, a huge trade that happened in the NHL. Want your feedback and instant analysis on this one. This one puzzles me a little bit, and I don't think we should specifically blame one individual for much of why this trade was consummated. So I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, the deal is this. Pittsburgh and Edmonton. It's about goaltenders specifically. Edmonton grabbing Tristan Jarry and Sam Poulin in a trade with the Penguins. Again, the keys are the goaltenders. Stuart Skinner going from Edmonton to Pittsburgh. Brett Kulak and a second-round pick in 2029, which last time I checked, John, that's over 3 years from now, so that's a
Check.
long ways away. Right.
Yes.
So essentially the two are goalie for goalie. I know there's pieces in place too outside of them, but it's Skinner for Jarry. So where do you stand?
I think that in a situation like this, we know that Edmonton is basically cup or bust. That is their mindset now. And one of the things that drives coaches crazy is when you don't have consistent goaltending. And I think that if you're looking for a calming influence or something like that, you're not looking for this. You're not looking for highs and lows and highs and lows. You're looking for this. You're looking for something that's going to be. This is not talking about Tristan Jarry at all as an individual, but you're looking for vanilla. You're looking for a baseline of 0. You're like, I want this. I don't want -10 to +10 to -10. You want consistency. You want something that's going to keep you here. Where yes, Skinner in his moments, he has his moments where he is going to drive opposition folks crazy, but he's going to equally drive his own team crazy sometimes because of his inconsistency. And so if you want to try to make things more consistent, in quotation marks, you want to try to come up with some kind of stability. I think that's what you're looking at with Jarry moving over and Skinner moving out. That's just the baseline of those two goaltenders for me. That's probably what you're staring at here.
People need to understand that you should not have, and I think we've been all guilty of this. I know that I certainly have been a little bit, maybe not so much as others, but completely putting the blame on Edmonton's issues for the problems that they have. Again, this is a team that's now into a wild card spot. I understand it's December, but still, you can talk about where teams are at. But you cannot blame Stuart Skinner or Calvin Pickard for all the issues that they've had. Edmonton's been a terribly defensively disorganized team. They have been awful in their zone. And that is every single set of defensemen that goes out on a nightly basis. So with that being said, how much blame do you need to put on Skinner? To your point, yes, he can drive the home team and the Edmonton fans completely nuts with some of his bad plays. But then again, there are times. This club, John, as you know, they've been to back-to-back Stanley Cup final appearances. They've lost, I understand, but only 2 teams get to the final dance, and good on Edmonton for doing that. But this, to me, is more of a move. By the way, no retention was retained on either side here. A lot of people are thinking, well, yeah, Tristan Jarry, he has a lot of years left on the contract, a lot of money left on the contract. I think that contract was terrible, with all due respect, but you and I would have signed it. But there's no money retained on either side. I think what this is a move that had to be made, and it had to be made for Edmonton. They have been sniffing around with other teams, other players, other goalies, but they were really zeroing in on this. I feel for Tristan Jarry, for example, I'm not saying Edmonton's not going to make it into the postseason. I believe that they will, and I think that they're going to want – they're too good of a team to look this bad. But I just think you go from Pittsburgh now to Edmonton, where so much focus will be on you. This is an intense pressure situation, John, for Tristan.
Yeah, and I wonder how he will respond to it. Will you tune out all of the rat poison?
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Or will you, especially in a market like Edmonton with the expectations being what they are? But for me, I am intrigued. This will be a test between the ears for Tristan Jarry as to what you take in, how you take that information from outside media and everything like that. How do you tune out all the noise outside the locker room and focus on the task at hand? How do you not let a bad night get you down? Because first thing in the morning on Edmonton Sports Talk Radio, after a blowout loss, and Tristan Jarry, might have, and I have seen more 7 and 8 goal games by winning teams this season in the National Hockey League and so I think that speaks more to defenses than it does necessarily to goaltending. But how do you tune out the noise? How do you tune it out with the expectations and all of this pressure that's coming down upon you from outside sources? I think that Tristan Jarry in this Petri dish is going to be a very interesting one.
Jacques Plante, the great Jacques Plante, who played, of course, for the team here. The colors behind me. He had one of these lines. He said, "Look, I love my job. It's the best job in the world. But when that red light goes on behind you, everyone hates you. It's your fault. It's terrible, and it stinks." Anyway, I hope it's going to be. It's just an interesting one for me. This, to me, is just a move that had to be made by Edmonton. So they need to now take this and say, okay, we've got a fresh start in goal. Let's go for it. By the way, Skinner's in the last year or 2 of his contract, I believe, which for Pittsburgh, that favors them with the cap. I know it's going up, but that gives them still flexibility, more so now with Jarry out from under their books. But here is Skinner going to a pretty good situation, John. You get to play with McDavid and Draisaitl, and yeah, you've had some issues, that's fine, but now you're in a pretty good spot too. The Penguins playing well. So anytime this trade happens, a trade like this, I just hope both sides, I hope it works. I do, specifically for the specifics involved here in Skinner and Tristan Jarry. I was going to say something else about Hose. Yeah, go ahead.
It is difficult to judge trades involving goalies.
Yeah, it is.
Because you always want to sit there and that immediate thought is that everything is the goalie's fault, nothing is the fault of the folks in front of him. And I think that goalie analysis, and what I mean by that is those of us that watch the game, I think a lot of it gets lost in the idea of putting 100% of the blame on a mistake on a goalie and not looking at the context of the defense in front of him that created the situation. And because the game moves so quickly, like I said, your intent is to look at the entire picture, but unfortunately, a lot of the time, the blame ends up going on the goalie when it's not necessarily the case.
No team is going to give up. Like, goalies are not readily available in today's day and age of the NHL. If this was, say, 5, 10, 15 years ago when teams like San Jose were not playing well, Anaheim, even though John Gibson stayed forever, he shouldn't have, but he did, then goalies maybe would be available. But now there's so much parity in the NHL, so hope it works out. Let's get to some FIFA news here, John. FIFA fans upset. Question over what? Well, they've accused FIFA, fans have, of monumental betrayal. Not just a little bit, John. We're talking monumental.
A monumental betrayal.
The latest ticket prices began circulating on Thursday. So the governing body allows 8% of tickets to national associations for games involving their team to sell to the most loyal fans. So there was a list published by German Soccer Federation. Prices between 180 to 700. The lowest price for the final, 41.85. Highest was 86.80. Those group stages prices, John, very much different from what FIFA claimed of $60 tickets being available. You are more of a soccer guy than I am. So what is this all about, the monetary situation?
Well, you get into the bid books when they come out. Hey, they're going to be, here's your pricing, here's your pricing, here's your pricing. According to Adam Crafton at The Athletic, ticket prices released this week were on average 174% higher than projected in the official bid book that was produced.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So like if you're thinking that you're going to pay $100, you're instead paying 174. So something like that. And so you're supposed to submit a bid book. And hey, this is what we anticipate happening. Here's what we anticipate. Here's what we think with the venues. Here's what we think of the ticket prices. Da 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 da. The folks at FIFA, you know, when you look at this kind of thing, I don't know why people are surprised at this point because of the big ticket item that the World Cup is. Then you post prices when the prices went out in the opening round of looking at and purchasing tickets. You got your grids, you got your stadia, and you can sit there and look on the secondary ticket markets and things like that and sit there and go, okay, here's where I have to go, here's my portal, here's my pricing. So then you continue to work your way through this, and it was the lottery phase. You sell tickets in the lottery phase for specific matches, adjusting prices based on anticipated demand. See, now that is the first part in this. It is supply and demand economics that's attached. So if it is a game that once the draw is out, that you sit there and you go, oh, Portugal plays X, which means that Cristiano Ronaldo and his 40-year-old abs are going to be in that particular match. Of course that
He's got
means,
good abs, man. He's got good abs.
And so this is what happens when you eat just chicken and that's it. He's like Wade Boggs all of a sudden.
I know.
But the thing is, when you get into this lottery phase, you're looking at prices, you know, for 1, 2, and 3, and that they have different categories. The one, think of it like seating in an arena. Category 1, the 100s. Category 2, the 200s. Category 3, the 300s. The 400s are like the end zone edges in the upper deck. And so average prices across the 3 categories for opening games. Now think about it. Think about it when you have these worldwide tournaments and it is the first game in a country for a tournament. It's going to be something that folks are going to want to watch. $1,728 is the projected average instead of the $569 across the 3 categories that were put in the bid book. When you put a bid book together, you're sitting there thinking, okay, yeah, it's the first match, but you don't know what the match is going to be. And then when FIFA puts those 2 teams into that particular match, of course, in supply and demand is going to be high, especially, look, first match for Canada in country, naturally it's going to be a match that folks are going to want to see. Therefore, with dynamic pricing, you're going to sit there and go, yeah, well, I want to go. Well, I want to go too.
I get it.
And so that's the whole thing. It's like just because you put something in a bid book doesn't mean you know who you're getting, doesn't mean you know when you're getting them, and doesn't mean you know what the matchup is going to be going in. So I always sit there, there's a Latin phrase, and for those that might be watching for the first time, there's a Latin phrase called caveat emptor.
Amen.
Buyer beware. If you want to drop dime and you want to get in the 100 level for a worldwide competition involving stars, don't tell me that you're going to sit there and think that, a match with Lionel Messi in Argentina is going to be like, you know, the loonies and toonies you find between the couch cushions. It doesn't work that way.
Hey, it's a lot of loonies and toonies.
I know, and it's there with the sofa pizza and everything. It's like, you know, you got to find it and understand that supply and demand is going to be a certain way when it comes to this kind of thing. You can put something in a bid book, but you don't really have all the information. You can assume, that things are going to go a certain way. But then when teams are introduced, matchups are introduced, the draw is introduced, the importance of that when context is added to these things, yes, it's going to go, and you have to sit there and make a choice of, oh, I don't know, do I want to buy a car or do I want to go see my favorite national soccer team? It's just literally, it is a 1,728 from the projected 569, a 204% increase for those that want to see the USMNT in their group. That's why if I'm involved in this, go see the minnows. Go see those first timers. Go see the folks that are. Go see Uzbekistan. Go see Cabo Verde. Go see those because it'll be a great part of your education. I know it's not necessarily the first thing on your wish list, but you get into the experience. You get to see what's going on. You get to see the excitement about that country for the first time, and you don't get sticker shock when you're buying this ticket.
The draw opened yesterday, which was Thursday, 11 a.m., and it's going to close January 13, 2026. You're trying to get the games, obviously the tickets that you want to go see the games that you're applying for. How about this? Messi and Ronaldo, you mentioned those abs. They could meet, again, lots has to go on before this, but they could meet in the quarters in Kansas City if Argentina and Portugal top their respective groups. What a matchup that would be.
Gee, who would have thought that would have been programmed in?
Come on. No, it's like the lottery ball in the NHL. The last time the U.S. hosted the World Cup, John, 94, prices went from $25 at the low to $475. In Qatar in 2022, it was $70 to $1,600. So, to your point, everyone should just be quiet about it. If you want to go check out the event, do it on your own dime, and go see some team, some country, whatever. If you don't, you're going to pay big bucks for the big teams and big countries you're going to go and see.
I mean, Super Bowl. It's not $12 to get into the Super Bowl.
No, it's not. Look what happened in the Dodgers and Jays in the World Series of the most expensive nights in Toronto sports history, right? 15, 16, 17 grand, 100 grand, whatever it was, all the time. Really happy about this one. John, Lindsey Vonn at 41, the tender age of 41. She back. First World Cup downhill win since 2018. She was at St. Moritz today, which again is Friday. First win in about 8 years. Her first in her comeback with titanium implants in her right knee. And she had been gone from the sport for 5 years. Three things. Number one, congratulations. Number two, this is a testament to the individual that Lindsey Vonn is, to stick with something that you love despite the setbacks. And three, this is a testament to the skill level that Lindsey Vonn has still as a skier. Some are born with it, some are not. She was born with it, she's worked at it, and now she's worked back to the podium. Hats off to Lindsey Vonn.
Dig it completely. Full disclosure, I follow Lindsey Vonn on the various social medias, specifically on the IG, the Gram, or the Insta, whatever the kids call it these days.
Why do you short all these ones? You do the Twitter, the 200, whatever. You did. I love it. I didn't carry on.
Well, but I mean, it's a 280 character app.
Yeah, I know. But not many people say that. They say Twitter. They say X.
Well, because it's not supposed to be the T word anymore. It's supposed to be the letter, and for me, that letter means a bunch of different other things. And so, for me, it's just 280 characters, unless you've got verified status and you can type whatever you want and go like 9,000 characters and put a full screen. But anyway, I follow Lindsey on Insta. And to see it, and it is an open book for her. You've been able to see surgeries and rehabilitation and workouts and everything, and you've been able to see the process to where someone who is in her early 40s is basically telling the youngins, it's like, don't just sing it, bring it. It's one of these kind of deals as she's getting ready for Cortina. And I love to see it, because when you have athletes, and this is regardless of sport, that still can maintain a level of excellence that they themselves may not be happy with, considering that Father Time and Mother Nature are the only two that are undefeated. To see Lindsey come through the other side of this and have these successes, I think it's a reinforcement to anyone on any level in any challenge. And I'm not just talking athletics, where if you believe in yourself, and it doesn't matter what the driver's license has for your DOB, date of birth, kids. If you look there and it's like, hey, you're having a renaissance at X age and you're doing this, this, and this. Yeah, it's because you believe in yourself. You've applied yourself. You put in the work. You put in the effort. And then you get to see the fruits of all of that investment. And I mean, look, she wants to continue to be the best she can be at the age of 41. Go get it and kick some serious ass. That's all I want with where Lindsey Vonn is concerned. She's an example for others, a role model for others, a role model for a lot of folks, male or female, about applying yourself and all this kind of stuff. Look, the comeback that she's had has been fantastic. Samaritz is a great first step in this. I know that she won't be happy unless she has a gold medal in Cortina coming up in a couple of months.
She wants that.
And think about what that could mean, A, to the sport of alpine skiing and downhill, and think about what it means to anyone that looks up to Lindsey Vonn, regardless of what their career is. Hey, you know, I'm on a downturn, but I look at Lindsey and she's doing great, and she's a role model for others on a bunch of different levels, not just athletics.
It was her 125th start in a World Cup downhill. 24 years, John, after her first one at Lake Louise in Canada. 44 wins across 24 years, which is absolutely astonishing. So good on you, Lindsey. Not too sure if this is astonishing or not, but this is intriguing. So Philip Rivers is coming back. So the Colts have brought 44, okay, we're talking about 41-year-old Lindsey Vonn. Now, 44 years old, Philip Rivers out of retirement. He's not only a dad, but he's a grandfather. So he's been retired for 5 years. Last time I checked, he's coaching his son's high school football team. He's tending to his group of 10 kids. His daughter is almost the same age as the Colts' current backup quarterback. But somehow, when the Colts brought him in for a workout, they liked what they saw. I wish him good luck. I really do. It's one thing to go on the slopes of St. Moritz. It's another thing to get in between the lines in an NFL game. But good on you, Philip.
I mean, look, if Indianapolis looks at the pool of quarterbacks, and I mean, and if it, you know, look, to me, it'd be the same thing as like, you know, hey, Anthony Calvillo, what are you doing? Can you still sling it for me? You go into camp and you can still sling it. I'm like, hey, dude, you want to hang out for the rest of the season and just, well, because I mean, the high school football season's over. So I mean, all Philip is doing, he's got a little time on his hands. You have your own 11v11. You bring out your own football. It's like if you have your 10 kids and that's 11. You got a starting offense, you know, for Philip to bring to practice every day in Indianapolis. But look, if you have faith in your system as a head coach, and you think that Philip Rivers, at the age of 44, I mean, we've seen it with Joe Flacco and other quarterbacks who have been north of there, who in a controlled environment can execute the game plan and execute the system of the head coach, then don't be surprised. We talk about DOBs on driver's licenses. Look, if Philip Rivers can be in shotgun and he can sit there and still slang it around the yard, and
that's all you need to do.
Go 12 of 23 for 174 and a touchdown and maybe a pick, and Indianapolis continues to win. Then let it happen. Don't let ageism get into how you look at ability. And I think that's the lesson here with these last two stories. Don't sit there and look at how old somebody is. Can they do the job? If Philip Rivers is showing in practice at Indianapolis that he can do the job, then how's it going to look on a game day? Let's find out. Let's see what's going on. Indianapolis is down 3 quarterbacks. I mean, Daniel Jones out for the year. Riley Leonard with a knee injury. Your third QB's got issues. You dial up Philip Rivers. Hey, dude, you know the system. You want to come in and let it rock? Then go for it.
Do it.
We'll see what happens. I'm not going to pick him up in fantasy, but nevertheless, if he can do it, go for it.
Last one here, the Ohtani betting scandal. You remember that, right? He had the interpreter. And he found. Hold on a second. You dismiss so many of my stories.
What?
By the way, are you keeping up with the hype of Sabalenka Kyrgios? Have you seen what is going on in the last week or so, hyping up this event that John is not going to watch? Okay, so the screenwriter for the Michael Jordan movie Air is going to produce a dramatized show about Ohtani's interpreter, again, secretly stealing millions of bucks to feed his gambling habit.
Sure it was.
So there's this one part I saw today, and I got to read this to you. So just to give you a refresher, so this individual, EP, I can't remember, whatever he is, tomato, He made 19,000 bets
Let's call
over
the whole
3
thing off.
years.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 25 bets per day. And over that time, John, he managed to lose 40 million bucks. And he looked at his bookie one time and said, "I'm terrible at this sports betting thing, aren't I?" You think?
But if you are the bookie for Ipe Mizuhara,
Yeah.
you're not going to sit there and go, Miz, I think what you ought to do is you ought to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I literally think that I don't quite imagine that Mizuhara's bookie is going to sit there and go, Miz, yeah, you're not good. Maybe you should stop. I think that would be the first bookie that would sit there and say,
Yeah.
maybe you should just dial it back.
Like, put a lid on it right now.
Yeah, put a lid on it, regroup,
Yeah.
maybe invest in some more stable things like Bitcoin or something like that. But 25 bets a day.
That's good.
That is day trading to the nth degree, man. That's like the Turkish betting scandal that we've had currently with referees and players, where one ref was in the thousands of bets over a period. And you're sitting there going, how do you make 200 and some odd bets a day? You are like day trading and looking at all kinds of prop bets. You are a prop bet master. It's like, just don't give me the numbers and the juice boxes. Give me the prop bets, and I'll just go down the road with this particular game, and we'll sit there. 25 bets a day for Mizuhara-san as he's trying to get something done. Like I said, it's not quite the Turkish betting scandal in soccer,
No.
but 25 bets a day. If it's straight up on games, then you're doing stuff around the world. If it's prop bets, then you're probably looking at one game, and you're sitting there going, okay, pitches in an inning, does he foul this off, yes or no? I mean, that's what you're hunting for. But yeah, if you're a bookie, if you sit there and you go, Miz, I don't know, maybe you should get some help. That'd be the first bookie, I think, that would say something like that. I would appreciate a bookie to say that, but I don't think I've ever heard a bookie sit there and go, nah, maybe you should dial it back. No, you're not very good at this. They didn't tell Pete Rose to dial it back, and he was below average as well. So.
Yeah.
No, I don't anticipate it being not happening. No.
Would you watch this? This? No. Okay, good. I saw the other day too, and I had seen this before. Just an interview with John Daly. John Daly, I forgot this, but I do remember now because I saw it again. John Daly lost $55 million in gambling.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was between early 90s to 2011, 10, maybe something like that. It was a span of whatever. And he broke that down when he was writing the book. Whoever he was writing the book with, he went through all of his records. And he said, yeah, I thought it was maybe 20, 25. But he said, no, it was 55. He said, yeah, I was astonished it was 55. And then they did the math. And over that time, he was losing about $3.5–4 million a year in gambling. I mean, the numbers like that and the bets, even the 25 bets, absolutely astonishing. And he said too, he was playing, I think, blackjack or something. And at the time, I don't know, I don't frequent casinos at all.
Mm-mm.
But I believe he said he was playing 7, 8, 9, 10 different hands at the same time, like 10, 15,000 a hand. And he was you can't do that anymore, I don't think, according to him. But that's just the lifestyle that he was in. It's crazy to me to even contemplate that stuff. And I know people have a disease, and I feel like it's awful. I get it. Well, I don't get it, but I understand that people have a lot of trouble getting out of that stuff. But it's a lot of money, man.
Yeah, and when you hope that when these folks come out the other side of this, that they can be advisors to those who might be going down those same roads.
Exactly.
And say, here are the lessons that I learned in this. Maybe you do need to put a lid on it, but if you need some help, hey, I'm here for you, and we'll crush it and we'll knock it out and we'll get on the other side of this. But that's the biggest thing, is that I don't understand how folks can have that compulsion to that point. I mean, here's my wallet, Pates. Here's my wallet.
Yeah,
if you open it up, you see how much falls out. That's where we are with my wallet, and I know that.
Same with me.
It's just like, if you've got it, I know that there's always that jonesing for competition, and I understand. That's why these athletes do it, because there was always that itch to compete, and if that itch to compete includes a compulsion to gamble. And it's devastating that you would see a number that large. But now that he's on the other side, I hope he's a great counsel for others.
Daly said that he was doing slots and then will leave. And one of the slots he did it 2 or 3 times over the span of however many years, but they were 5,000 each. So he would click the button and it was $5,000, and you could spend a max, I think, of 20. So it was up to, he lost 100 in about, he said, 5 minutes, something like that.
Can't do it.
John Daly, I'll just say this about him. To me, one of the most gifted, we talked about Lindsey Vonn, good way to bookend. One of the most gifted natural golfers that I have ever seen. He didn't have to practice. He never did. He never does. I just wonder what could have been. I wonder what could have been if he just kind of put a bit more into it, but he didn't want to. And I give him credit, John. He wants to live himself. He wants to live the way he wants to live, and he wanted to. Good on you, man. He said, I had fun doing all this stuff. I don't know. I just look at him sometimes and wish, man, I loved watching you play. I just wish what could have been.
And sadly, the Hooters restaurant that he camps out at in Augusta during Masters Week has been torn down for another restaurant opportunity. So he's going to have to find another place on Washington Road to hang out during Masters Week.
That is so deflating, John.
I know. I don't know if he can get his T-shirts tied the way that the waitresses did at that particular establishment at the time.
Yeah.
They had the saltiest French bread that you could ever have. Literally, the salt was just off the charts. I mean, the buttered French bread for your appetizer and everything. It was just too much
healthy.
Salt. Oh, it was true. You may as well just sit there and go like that with it. Cholesterol, just go ahead and just sit there and go like that.
You just eat a pound of butter with a fork, and then you just throw salt in your mouth.
Yeah, well, hey, the boss's rice that she got from her grandmother, that does include an entire stick of butter. So,
I mean,
literally, it is you get that brick of white rice, you get 2 cans of beef consomme, and you get the entire stick of butter, which in the recipe is referred to as oleo to tell you how old the recipe is.
Okay.
You put that all together in a dish. It is fantastic. It's a meal upon itself. During the holiday season, I'm the only one that gets to. It's like the boss will make her an entire bowl of the thing, and she'll just here, there's dinner. So no, it's like that's the only thing I think that is my true weakness. It's like cholesterol, aisle 1. There you go.
Yeah, and then John sleeping for a week after that.
I wish. I know.
In staying with John Daly, this has been a hoot, John. Talk to you later.